Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are here with another day of our spotlight on Taco Fiesta stamp sets. Fun! And today's project is a super cute box, super fun for Cinco de Mayo, craft fairs, Taco Tuesday, whatever you want. It says you're not your average friend, and inside we have one of these delicious coconut candy. I know some of you are not fans of coconut, but for those of you who are, you're going to absolutely love this. It is very delicious. I'm surprised I didn't eat this before I made the tutorial, to be honest. I get these at Walmart. They're super cheap, but they look gorgeous in the box. We did make our own designer paper, quote unquote. We stamped some little nacho chips on there, some tortilla chips, and we added a little ribbon. So full disclosure, when I do these videos, I do the tutorial first, so that way I don't have two of everything. And then I show you guys, technically this is the second video, I show you what you're going to see next. So while I was doing the tutorial, I decided to be lazy and not cut some designer series paper, so that's why we stamped on it. And we added the ribbon. Now, this ribbon is no longer available. This is a satin real red. So I did link down the other real red ribbon that's on the clearance rack right now. It's $3. It's a faux linen, and I think it would actually look better than the satin because the faux linen is a little bit more rustic, I think. This, to me, satin red ribbon is kind of Christmassy, but it looked great on the box. So, you know, it is what it is. You can always do your finger pull, which I didn't do on this one. I didn't feel the need to. But yeah, all right, let's get to the tutorial. Okay, so for this one, we need a piece of paper, cardstock, excuse me, that is 7 by 7.5. I'm using Old Olive because it reminds me of guacamole. Alright, on the 7-inch side, so the short side, let me make sure I have it right. We're going to do some scoring, so put the 7-inch side on the top, and we're going to score at 1. Ooh, let's move our cutting blade. 1, 3, 4, and 6. So 4 and 6. Okay. We're going to turn it to where the long side is on top, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1.5. We're going to do the same to the other side. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1.5. 1/2 inch and 1.5. If you have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you see the fun little thing. You have the measurements on both sides up until 1.5 inch. So I love that, especially when making boxes. Right, we're going to just make the box how we do all of our other boxes by cutting off a bunch of stuff. Let me get back in frame here. I moved my camera, so now it's like all up in my face. Alright, so I'm just going to varnish a few, well, I'm going to fold on a few lines. I'm not going to varnish yet, just so you guys can see the lines a little bit better. I guess I could have varnished while I was doing that, but I didn't. There we go. Alright, so we don't need our normal, if you leave it this way where you have the long side at the top, we don't need, actually I'm going to show you all this way because I do my boxes either way, but I think when I do tutorials I always show you with the flaps up and down, so let's just do it up and down. So put it to where your 7 inches on top. We don't need that rectangle. We don't need that rectangle. We don't need that. 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 So we're just going to cut those off. Where are some scissors? Alright. Now you'll see other people who make their boxes and they put their two smaller measurements on the same side and then you have to cut like every other or whatever. That's a little confusing when you're doing tutorials. I think I have done that sometimes, but I prefer this way. So that way you can just cut everything off that right side and be done with it. Okay, so now I just cut straight up on the score lines. I'm going to cut off approximately half of these tabs here. And I'm going to go ahead and miter these, which is just taking a chunk off the corners. Same stuff you see me do every single time I make a box. Consistency, right? And then here, just going to come up. We're going to come up. And we're going to do half and miter. Okay. Same thing, cut it roughly half. You can measure it if you want. You know, when I first started, I definitely would have measured that and did precisely half. You just got to kind of, I guess you have to be in your head to get out of your head. Now I'm like, you know what? Nobody else is going to take out a ruler to see if my flap were exactly half. And I just mitered that little corner here. Now I'm going to go ahead and burnish for real. If you need me to go slower with the boxes, I do have a few videos that are super duper slow. But I feel like if you watch me enough, you kind of got it. Okay. And then we just need our corner rounder to round our box corners. Or if you want to keep them straight, you can keep them straight. It's up to you. Take that, and I'm going to round there. Round there. And there. Down there. Okay, we're going to glue our little flap. For those of you who follow me, you notice that this one I did not cut off anything from the little bit of the box. When I cut that little strip, it's just an optional. But this box, I didn't need it. So when I just put it together, I saw that it would work without cutting anything off. Okay, just flip it over and adhere it. Give it a second to dry. And our box is done, right? I already did my coloring here. So it says, you're not your average friend. And I did the little nacho chips, the little guacamole pot, and a chili pepper. So for this one, we are going to make our own background. So what you're going to need is your Versamark and whatever stamp set you want. And yes, I'm making this up right now as we go. Because honestly, I don't feel like cutting any designer paper, and I do want to show you that you don't have to have any type of paper collection to go with this. So my Versamark was sitting on the side of my desk, and so I said, let's go. Alright, I don't know where my favorite block is, so I'll just use this one. This is the C block. And I think I'm going to use the nacho chips. we're just going to have a bunch of nacho chips all over our project. Oopsies. And there's a little face that came off there. We'll put that away later. Versamark is great on your cardstock because it's color on color. So it looks gorgeous. You could take out your Old Olive ink pad. Do the same thing. I'm just going to pull out my little scratch sheet here. And ink and stamp. I try to stamp with no pattern, but I always make a pattern. I don't know. And you're just going to flip them around. Just kind of fill it in. However they'll fit. I guess I should move that. And then I'm just going to go just random little chips. No, I didn't get too intense on the middle here because my tag is going to cover it up, right? And with Versamark, you do need to let it dry because this is like a glue ink, right? So you need to let it dry just a little bit. Nothing major, like no overnight or anything. Just like a minute or two. Alright, so we just got our little chips here and there. Feel free to go over spaces, add more. It's yours, right? I'm just going to add just a little bit more in here. There we go, I overlapped. I'm okay. I am going to add to the back. And we're just stamping. We're trying not to make a pattern, but of course I am. No pattern is a pattern, right? And just a little chippy in there. That's it. I think it came out really cute. Close up our Versamark and wipe off our stamp while we're letting it dry. We can go ahead and clean our block and our stamp. So this is where if you want to use embossing powder, you can. You can put the clear embossing powder on there, or you can put the white or whatever color you want. That'll look really nice on there, but we're just going to stick with the two-tone here. Alright, so we're still just letting that dry a little bit. And put my little face back on here and the chips away. And it should be dry. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to position our tag. I'm going to use tape runner. I almost reached for my glue, but... And I just noticed that I stamped my images on the back side of the stitched rectangle, but that's okay. You can still see the stitching. And I'm just going to put this here, like so. Close up one side and put my candy in the box. Another great craft fair item, a great Cinco de Mayo gift. Just a little bit crooked here. There you go. You can definitely add a ribbon on there. That'd be really fun. If I had some real red, which I think I do. Let me check. Alright, I have some real red satin ribbon that I got on the clearance rack. So just come up here. And I am just going to tie not that big of a bow. Just to kind of bring out the chili pepper. Okay, I just want a knot. That's it. Thought I wanted a bow, but I'm way better at knots than I am bows. So, knot. One side down. And then just kind of square it. There we go. And then just cut it to your preference. And there you go. Look at how super adorable that is. Hey, just coincidentally, we did match the colors of the candy with the red, white, and green. Look at that. Super fun. Could have used garden green, and garden green would have matched perfectly. That's okay. That's not what we were going for. It just was a happy accident. Alright, I hope you love this box as much as I do. Thanks for watching. Bye.